Let's say, for the sake of discussion, that you're Mercedes-Benz and you want to introduce the latest derivation of your flagship product. Where are you going to do it? A large market like the US? An emerging market like China? Or perhaps closer to home like Stuttgart? All fine and good, but not grosse enough. Instead, Mercedes chose the Hamburg manufacturing facility of the only European vehicle larger than the S-Class. So looking back on the history of the S-Class, there are a lot of firsts. It's the first car with an ABS system. It's the first car with an electronic stability control system. It's the first car with electric window lifts, a luxury car. Who knew? Now, we're dealing with lights. Doesn't sound too exciting, but the S-Class, at least in 2014, has no light bulbs in it. Instead, it's LEDs. So we have things like this and this. This one has 12 LEDs in it, and this one has 4 LEDs in it. And basically, they work in conjunction to be the high beam and the low beam. This duplicates throughout the entire car, where even in the back, you can adjust the intensity of the brake lights based on daylight, even on turn signals. Okay, that was the horn, which was great. So there's a basic concept. Smells give you a bit of a memory. So Mercedes-Benz has tried to duplicate that in the new S-Class. This little system you see here goes in the glove box of your car, and then you have a choice of 4 different fragrances. You've got, let's see, Freeside, you've got Downtown, Sports, and Nightlife. And basically, the idea is not to overpower the leather or the smell of a Mercedes-Benz, but to kind of get you in the mood. So my question is, can it duplicate the smell of, I don't know, a first date, college, first time you're on a roller coaster, first time you take an SLS GT around the track chasing Tommy Kendall? You and I have been to a lot of design studios together, and in those places, we've seen details, we've seen concept sketches, but we've never quite seen those details and concept sketches make it to reality. And we look at the real car, and it kind of has the theme of the concept sketch, but never really what we were looking for. That's not the case here. This looks like a futuristic interior. It looks like something that came out of a designer's brain and made it into production. Even down to the textures, you feel everything. It's got a Mercedes-Benz quality to it, but it's also a futuristic quality. Even the speaker grills, they're machine finished, but they're smooth against the door panels. And the speaker placement, that's a whole different thing as well. The subwoofer is not in the trunk, it's not behind the rear seats, it's built into the firewall. So how many of you heard of Google's autonomous driving Priuses that are floating around the peninsula of the San Francisco Bay Area? This is the closest thing that's going into production to those autonomous Priuses. What Mercedes has done is taken all of their 3-letter acronym safety and technology systems and connected them to 2 new sensors. In the bumper, you've got a radar system both in the front and the back. And then in the windshield, there's a stereo camera. And basically what that does is it reads the road so the car can drive itself autonomously, at least at low speeds in traffic. So think about it, you're sitting in stop and go traffic, the car will drive itself. But Mercedes does leave the driving to you at high speeds. So what have we learned today? 3 things. Number 1, this car doesn't move. At least until July, that's the first time I'm going to drive it. Number 2, like any S-Class that has come before it, it has a lot of technology. I really can't overstate this. This is a low-speed, autonomous driving car. And number 3, like any luxury car, it's all about how it makes you feel, or in this case, how it makes you smell. And I really don't say this lightly. The interior of this car is orders of magnitude better than anything else out there. Anything. So, until July, bis später.